welcome back to Game 2 from the Northern Kings Grand Tournament. The last Northern Kings tournament for now. So in Game 1, I crushed my opponent. Who was my opponent in Game 1? I can't remember. I literally just did the battle report. Anyway, I won, which is great. Oh, no, it was George. Oh, God. Sorry, George. I'm sure he's not watching. But if you did watch, I still apologise. So I crushed George in Game 1, as is rightly so, reclaiming the coveted Kirk Hildrew Cup. Unfortunately, that means that in Game 2, I had to face the inimitable, the incredible Radek Brylowski, Radek, as he's known to his, I guess, everyone. So Radek holds the title of current UK Master. And I'm going to say that probably means he's slightly better than me at the game. So this is going to be a challenge, to say the least. Now, he did. Oh, this is my list, right? So I am playing Twilight Kin, as I have been. Please go back to check out Game 1's list if you want a detailed, slightly more detailed review, but essentially it's a list of 2s. 2 mutants, 2 phantoms, 2 impalers, 2 terrors, 2 crones, one of which is Lethal Bleakheart, and then I have a single troop of reapers with the fire oil, because I couldn't find anything else to spend the points on. A planar apparition and a soulbane, a nightmare, who I've given the Orb of Towering Presence to, which you will probably forget. So 13 units and 22 unit strength. So Radek is rocking some Abyssal Dwarfs. Abyssal Dwarf, bit of a red-headed stepchild of the Kings of War world at the moment. Not many people playing them, which is mad because they're really good. So it's an unusual list, which Radek's an unusual person. So he won Masters with the weirdest halfling list you've ever seen, and he won it convincingly. So he is a pretty special guy with a weird brain. Very nice person though. So he's got 2 troops of berserkers, no ensnare upgrade, just troops. 12 attacks, hit on 3s. You see, the problem with the list that Radek writes is I go through every unit, I'm like, well, that's terrible, that's terrible, that's terrible. And then he wins. Anyway, 2 troops of berserkers. I don't think they're very good, but I am frequently wrong. They're cheap, I guess. 2 regiments of Black Souls. Again, not very good. The Mortal Guard are better. I guess they're little blocks of nerve. I guess. Not that bad. Defense 5, 115 points, 14-16. A horde of Decimators with the Dragon Shard Shield. I think if you're going to take Decimators as a horde is probably the right way to go. Dragon Shard Shield, so that's when you can declare a halt order and make yourself defense 6. Right? I think it's +2 defense. Plus they have 14 inches range on their piercing 1, 25 shots on 4s. It's pretty good. Pretty good, but expensive, 280 points. A horde of golems, can't say wrong, can't say wrong? Is that, I think you can't say, wow, I've forgotten how to English. That's great, isn't it? Can't say too much that's bad about Lesser Obsidian Golems. I mean, they're really good. Vicious and Crush 2. Shamblings, they can be surged, really good. Grotesques with a Brew of Haste. I don't like Grotesques either. This is me dissing Radek's list. I don't like Grotesques. I think, they are very expensive. Half-breeds are just better. I seem to remember Radek saying that he didn't like his list too much. It was mainly built on what he had models-wise. I mean, Grotesques, they've got all the rules, right, but they're 270 points. I mean, 250 without the Brew of Haste. I'm just not convinced. Double Mastiff Pack for some chaff. Double Heavy Mortar. When they hit, they hit. Am I right? But if they don't hit, you have a terrible game. So there's that. I mean, Dravik Dalkin and Infernoc, I mean, pretty much everyone takes them because they're so good as a pair. You basically get 2 times the spellcaster because Infernoc can cast Dravik's spells, which is pretty gross. So he can shoot Fireball 12 and then be surged by Dravik into combat, which is just stupid. It's really good. Double Ironcaster. So Crown of the Wizard King gives this one extra 6 inches on his spells, and which are Surge and Heal 3. And the other one's got a Knowledgeable upgrade and then maxed out Celestial Restoration and Host Shadow Beast, which makes him expensive for an Ironcasters, but Ironcasters are very cheap, so it doesn't really matter. That Celestial Restoration going to come in clutch for healing stuff off. I guess Host Shadow Beast in case anything lands in the back lines. You can just chuck him in. Dravik himself, with all of his lovely, lovely spells, he's got, you know, Surge 12. Surge 12! Undead wishes they had that for on a 155 point caster. Fireball 12 and Heal 3. And then a Hex caster. So good. It is so good for 90 points, and that's with a 20 point upgrade to give it weakness. So damaging weakness and damaging Hex with Piercing 1. Twilight kin don't get piercing, and Abyssal Dwarfs do. Whatever. Right. So it's an interesting list. I don't like a lot of it. But who am I? I'm just an idiot. There's Radek. There's me and Radek. Oh, I'm a little cuddle. Anyway, so we are playing Dominate. Here is a token right in the middle for some domination. And so we have Black Souls, Grotesques, and Infernoc here. Right, we've got both Mastiff packs here. There's the horde of dudes. All 3 casters hiding here because he knows I want to hex him. These are the golems. These are berserkers. I think I had 2 berserkers. Where's the other one? There's the Black Soul. There's another berserker somewhere. We'll discover, I'm sure, together shortly. I have, of course, not previewed this. I'm not some amateur. Maybe these are the other berserkers, and actually this is one of the characters. I think it is, because these are the mortars, and maybe so look. Anything? Ah, there they are. They're all hiding. Look at that, cowards. I can't remember which one's which. He did tell me repeatedly anyway. So against that, I have gone heavy center, because there's a lot of shooting, so what I want him to shoot is my regenning stealthy guys, right? With double defense 6 backing them up. I'm not sure, looking again at this, I would probably do that. I think I probably did this the wrong way round. So I did it because of the shooting. I do have a heavy healer though, so it would have been better to have the guys with Strider by the wood, right? And then the guys with defense 6 over here, and I could heal them up afterwards, but there you go. 20/20 hindsight. I've got my little Reapers there behind the back. Again, I'm not sure that's a great place for them, but I want them to be coming up here, right? Unhindered charging. Again, I started off with this, what are they called? Phantoms both ends. Right, I feel like I've got to train, so blocking, blocking, blocking right on the edges. Interesting deployment. And then block, and then difficult, difficult, difficult. Right? Hill, hill, and then 2 forests on this side. So I think Radek chose size to give me the forests. He's got a very open field here for shooting, right? There's no, shooting for fireballs and all kind of shooting. So, yeah. So, and then I got very fast flanks. So I got both mutants and the Soulbane on the flank. So my plan is pretty obvious. There's Lethiel here, and the other crone is here, and this is the Mind Screech, right? So plan very obvious. Hold the center, sweep the flank. Yeah, you can't be more easy than that, right? I am going to suffer from being shot by these guys, so I'm going to try and get my phantoms down and into them as quickly as possible. He's not got a lot of fast response here. He's got some characters, but that's about it. So let's see how we go. And I think I win turn 1. Maybe, no, I think Radek wins turn 1 and gives it to me because it is Dominate. So I chuck forward my phantoms into this little thing, basically try and give him something to think about, delay him a little bit on this flank. And then I've kind of gone as fast and as far as possible. The one good thing about dwarves is they are slow. These guys speed 8, they're not going to get anywhere. These guys are much faster with their speed 8. Line of sight comes like this, so I'm just out 16 here, right? I have got a mutant on a hill, so I've got Lethiel right here just to make sure they've all got stealthy. So at least I take stealthy. Let's see how many 6s he can roll. And then I've just moved up real fast with here, and I've kept sight, some careful positioning, I think, to try and get lines of sight here and here. But there is a big gap here. So yeah. That is probably a weakness or a Windblower weakness, I think. From the crone here. I probably mind fogged him as well. 2 wounds, but they're okay. Radek's turn, so he decides that phantoms aren't scary at all. Moves up real hard. He's even got his berserkers. That's okay. Berserker's facing that way, so if I try and drop in here, he can berserk me, right? He's got his little black souls here. That's alright. It's a sizable portion of his army. He's now looking at a 100-point unit. I don't care. Black, he's got his little mastiffs up front. He's brought some stuff out. Maybe this is the Hexcaster. Got an H on it. Looks likely, doesn't it? And on this side, he's been very aggressive with pushing forward. He's actually moved his grotesques back a bit so that Infernoc can come this way. So Infernoc's kind of ready to rumble because he sees what I want to do is get rid of mortars, which is fair. Right, so it's a pretty defensive start. He wants to start shooting me as soon as possible. And then his weakness onto my phantoms, just in case I try to charge anything. So that'll be from the Hexcaster, weaknessing them. Fair shout, because they don't take stealthy for that, right? Yep, no more wounds there. So into my turn 2. So I decide that I am going to just go for it. Don't care. So phantoms all the way into the Angkor heavy mortar up here. What I really wanted to do is to send Infernoc in so that I can push this way. Everything else just kind of curves around. So again, we are looking at this 16-inch. So you can see the arc of sight I've got there. Nice arc of sight. So whoa, that was a poor line. Well, I can't draw today. Basically, this guy's not in it. So he's just got Infernoc and this guy to look at. These guys are staying just out of 16, I think. So I really want to be charged. I would die immediately, but at least I'm off the hill now. And here's Lethal just kind of sneaking around the back. We've pushed forward a lot more aggressively here now, so we really want to tempt him to start charging or shooting my terrors with all this stuff. And then my phantoms have caught a sneaky line of sight onto the, what are they called? Decimators. So I didn't really want to take 25 shots, even on 5s. So I'm just going to knock them out for one turn, do a wound, and then I've got, you know, fun with terrors the next turn. I think probably they're just guys, I don't know what to do with them. They're only in the list to use up points. Not surprising I don't know what to do with them, is it? That is a hex onto Infernoc. So I hexed him with this lovely crone here. Because I'm conscious that Dravik Dalkon is going to be using his spells through Infernoc, and we don't want that. So we do 4 wounds onto a heavy mortar. We don't kill it though. And into turn 2 for Radek. So I cocked up. Big cock up. So this was a mistake. I basically did not measure properly. So if you look here, I've clearly measured these guys perfectly. Shoved this guy forward. Didn't even look at the grotesques. So they are just a fractional inch within 16 over here. I was sad about it. And he took the charge. So right in. I looked at it and thought, well, you know, that is annoying. But the grotesques will now die next turn because they're just going to get absolutely eaten by all my stuff. Assuming this dies, which it almost certainly will, right? Then both of the mastiffs, what are they called? What are they called? Doggies. Doggies going to the... This is just a delaying action. This is less of a delaying action, right? Off we crack. You will notice, did I do any wounds? I did not do any wounds. So this was really poor. 20 attacks on 4s and 4s. You expect 5 wounds? Guess how many wounds I did? It was none. Decimators can shoot. Which is devastating. Pun intended. So that means that the golems going to the rear of my phantoms, who are sad about their life. Yeah, we don't have to show that in explicit detail. It's hard enough as it was. And that meant that these decimators can shoot. Look at that. Woof. Oh my gosh. What? There's a line of sight there. 14 inches. The decimators can just shoot the smeg out of my Reapers. Oh no, it's not. It's a weakness by the look of that. Maybe it wasn't decimators. Well, I'm wrong about everything ever. Who's casting that? Hexcaster? Who is casting that? How can a Hexcaster? Maybe the Hexcaster popped round here. Probably did. I bet it did. Bet your money. Whatever. They're weak and also wavered. So 3 wounds onto them. They're wavered. Big time sad because they were going to be a good part of my counter plan. Oh, there you go. The Phantoms didn't do no wounds. Do you know what? Sometimes it's sad, isn't it? I really don't take good enough pictures and I look like an idiot on the internet. Look at that, 4 wounds. It didn't do anything. Whatever. It still doesn't matter. So it was a weakness from somebody. Berserkers come this way. The golem polished off my phantoms. And now we've got whatever they're called. Decimators ready to go next turn. Yeah, so big sad, everyone. And obviously the Terror dies. Everything's bad. Everything's bad. I can't do anything about these dogs because I can't kill. So annoyed. So annoyed. What's more, so on this side, I didn't take pictures of it because obviously I was too busy bemoaning how rubbish I am at the game. But Infernoc, in order to enable this charge onto my Terror, just charged my Phantoms, rear charged them, smashed them up. And then he's very defensive with his Black Souls. So now we've got cannons ready to cannon. So my early strike was blunted by my inability to measure 16 inches. Into my turn 3. What am I going to do? This is the state of the board. Thank you for a wide shot past me, you arse. I did take a wound here. Didn't really matter. So next turn is going to be quite painful for me because, I mean, these guys should die. Not got a lot that can hit these guys. Maybe the planar apparition could flank it, if that's the thing I want to do. I'm going to take some stuff onto this Terror, but he should survive it. And then over here, I really need to push my forces up now because we've got Infernoc and 2 Mortars ready to go. And all the characters are feeling very smug back here. So it's a dangerous position. It's not devastating. This is bloody annoying, though. Anyway, so this is how we go. So we look at this. We couldn't quite get both mutants into Infernoc, so we just choose 1. They still should do a good bunch of wounds. I've brought Lethiel round here. A better move might have been to bring her over here and to do a Bane chant just to really, push home that damage. Instead, I bring her here. I think I'm probably going to Wind Blast something. We double charge into these grotesques. We are both hindered, but it's 36 attacks. Pretty good. Maybe I'm doing a Bane chant here instead. We flank charge with the Soul Bane and we front charge with the other mutants. That should take care of those guys. So we're feeling relatively nice about it. I do take the flank with the Planar Apparition just to really get rid of those because it's annoying. Try and kill. So this is the plan, right? So at the end of this turn, Infernoc should be heavily damaged, if not dead. Probably just heavily damaged. That should be dead. That should be dead. That should be dead. And that should be dead. Right? So 4 units off in a single turn. That's pretty tasty in exchange for the 1 Terror. Let's see how we go. I can't remember, by the way. So, there you go. The field did Bane chant these guys. So I was worried about this charge. More than the mutants. I suppose if I rationalise it outright, even if Infernoc kills back on this turn, I've still got 2 more units then that can join in, right? So Bane chant onto these Impalers. So yeah, 9 wounds. That's not unprecedented. Probably slightly under what you'd expect, but it's not bad. 9 wounds, but he's fine. Of course he is. We do manage to kill the Immortal Guard, which is great because now I've got mutants looking down the side, feeling very, very nice. Well, that was sad, isn't it? 7 wounds onto the grotesques. That's 18 attacks on 4s and 3s. 18 attacks on 4s and 4s. And I do a total of 7. That is rubbish. Rubbish rolling. So that's very, very poor. And I'm very sad about it. And you should feel sorry for me. Planar Apparition and the Terror, however, do prove their worth. So, 3 out of the 4 units gone. This one is a bummer, though. It really is not great. But there you go. Into Radek's turn 3. So this is how we're looking now. So the Soul Bane's ready to come and join in. These mutants are ready to come and join in. They can't join in because there's not enough space. But the mutants can come down here, hopefully. These guys should flank next turn. So, well, we'll see how we go. So, Berserkers come this way to try and do anything, anything. Lining up some delicious shots with these now fully operational decimators onto something. We'll find out what. You can see he's looking at Arc of Sights here. So he's moved, ordered, marched his dwarves here. He's probably going to try and surge maybe something. Let's find out. He's got his dice are ready. Look at these casters ready to just chuck stuff at me. So mean. Yep, okay, that's fine. Yeah, so lots of wounds. I think maybe the decimators unleashed here. So my mistake here, right? So I killed these dogs, throwing masters, with my plain apparition, and I chose to sidestep left to give myself some movement. What I really should have done is sidestepped right, which would have given cover or even total blocking to my Reapers, instead of which the decimators just blew them off the table, which is fair. Counter charge from Infernoc absolutely walloped those mutants, just completely blew them up. So that was some pretty tasty dice. Sad about that. And this is my response. This is my turn 4 now. So you'll notice there's 7 wounds here on these impalers. That's because I didn't take photos of it. I was clearly too flabbergasted by the incredulity of it. Ancor Heavy Mortars did what they do. I think he rolled 3 6s or something. Yeah. So 7 wounds onto defense. So defense 4 maybe? Nope, defense. Well, maybe 4. Whatever. It was still pretty bad. So yeah, very heavy dice turn following a very poor dice turn from me. So I am very much on the back foot now. But we struggle onwards. So Soulbane comes into Infernoc. And then I take what I feel to be a very clever charge. So the mutants that were here were facing off. Now they could have taken on Infernoc, but actually the power for Infernoc comes from Dravik Dalkan. He's a real key force multiplier in this list. So we take a charge into Dravak to try and take him out. Now unfortunately the line of sight wasn't quite enough for me to be able to roll into another character. Because it would be great to take out all these guys in a row, but here we are. The Impalers, who'd taken all the wounds from this mortar, come into this little troop here. That's fine, because we've got more fish to play with here. You know what I'm saying? I can't charge anything, I think, with this Terror. Or at least no good targets. Let's go back and see what I had. Yeah, so I did have targets, actually. I had both the Golems and the Decimators, but I did some numbers. And I realised I wasn't going to kill either of these targets. And if I don't kill one of them, the other one murders me, especially with these Berserkers sitting on a hill. Plus, I've got these guys who are looking in my flank, so it's not a very nice place to be, so I back up. It's a really defensive unit. So it's pretty good to back up, because although I can be charged, it'll be a front, or I can be shot, which is bad, and so on and so forth. And I go back into these Grotesques, who are now down to 5 wounds, thanks to regen. And I try to shoot some heal onto this unit with my planer. So, do what we can. I think we're going for some Banechant support somewhere from Lethil. Where's the old crone's here? I don't know what she's doing. Having fun, probably weaknessing, I should think. And we kill Dravek, which is great. And then we, with much regret, turn around. I very much wanted to stay facing this way and to come, into rears and stuff here. But the fact of the matter is, this is a huge threat to me. I have to take care of it. We're only on turn 4. So that's the choice I made. Was it right? Let's find out. We do kill the Berserker troop. That's great. So now I've got a nice kind of heavy flank. I heal a bunch of wounds. 3 wounds off there. That's great. And the Impalers continue to woof against these guys. So absolute pants. We know there's only 1 wound taken back on the last charge, so that's all right. But 5 wounds off of my 18 attacks there on 3s and 4s. So 3s and 3s even. Depending if I got Banechant off, I don't know if I did. So yeah, we are just sucking against these Grotesques, having talked trash about how garbage they are, and I still think they're garbage. Doing pretty well here. So into Radek's turn 4. So Radek turns around these Decimators. He's going to shoot right into my mutants. I don't like that. They're very vulnerable. Golem's come up here. He takes the charge with these Black Souls into my Terror. That's not going to do anything, but he doesn't care because what he wants to do is murder me with his Berserkers next turn. Another charge here. Yeah, here's what it is. What does this say? Weakness, maybe. Maybe that's the... I got a weakness off. Possible. Which might save my mutants. However, what won't save my mutants, you can see he's turned. So the Soulbane put Infernock up to 8 wounds. He's then completely ignored me and walked off, which is just so rude. Anyway, the reason being, he's going to shoot, he's going to surge, and then I'm going to die. So it's just as well I didn't turn around. In fact, I seem to remember realizing this at the time. I'm not as bad a player as you think. I realized I wanted to be this way, which I was just thinking just now. That's a better move. But of course, Infernock can be turned and surged into my rear in that case, which would be much, much worse. So that's why I face this way. Yeah, so we're going to die a lot. So 5 wounds from the so I did manage to stunt this attack with the weakness, which is pretty great. Unfortunately, now I have to take an angry Infernox right into my face. Who is healed from 8 down to 1 with Celestial Restoration, which is, I mean, that's just a bit rude, isn't it? What's that from? Mortars again. Bloody mortars. So they have been absolutely on fire, literally. Put me back up to 9 wounds. Still okay, but there you go. I'm not okay. No, I'm not okay. I thought I was okay. Not okay, guys. I've gone, well, they dashed 17. Just needs to roll an 8 twice. Well, rolling 8 twice, not a problem for the UK Master. So yeah, lost my Impalers. It's getting very, very nasty now. And the mutants die. Oh dear, goody, 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 gosh. This is into my turn now. So into my turn 5, I pretty much lost at this point. So I do a wicked move I'm really proud of. So Lethiel has moved up here and she has enthralled these Decimators into the rock. So they now cannot do anything next turn. They can sidestep, they cannot turn, there's not enough room. They can back up and sidestep, that's all they've got. Pleased with that. I did take a wound here, but we're going back into them to kill them this time, doesn't really matter. And we can't reach anything with these Impalers. Yeah, thank you, turn 5, I know. So I do manage to finally kill one of those ridiculous mortars and turn my Soulbane around. I think I did 3 wounds here. Maybe he wavered me or something. I doubt it. Not with a maybe double 6 wave. I doubt it. So I did a pathetic turn of dice for the 3rd turn onto these Black Souls. Maybe they regen some back. Who knows? Was there any wounds on them before? Let's look. 3. Nope. I just suck at life. Yeah, so 3 wounds, which meant that this Terror just got absolutely was smashed, right? Just kasplotted. So we got Golems, Black Souls, Berserkers. Wah, wah, wah. Draw a little skull. There you go. Whoa, my mouse has gone very slow. That's not really a skull. It's more a bald man. Yeah. And so now everything's just running this way. So he turns his Decimators 180, which is probably the best thing he could have done. He is going to take a rear there, but it's not really going to do a lot. Especially when I'm weakened. Of course, my Terror dies. Into my turn 6, what do? I look at the options that I have, and I'm like, well, this is the best I can do. So flank into here. I'm going to try and weakness off these Berserkers. Hindered flank into here. Might get them. Rear charge here. Let's see what we can do. So the first is that. No, I've shown you that already. Oh no, the weakness goes off. Smashed it. Look at that. Whee! So my Crone finally does something. And weakness is off the Berserkers, which is superb. 4 wounds there from that flank. Not enough to do anything. A hilarious 3 wounds onto Infernock there, which is embarrassing if nothing else. Look at that, man. 15, 18 wounds there. Onto these Decimators. And it doesn't do enough. So that is pretty shocking. So at the end of turn 6, beginning of turn 6 there, I have once again failed utterly in all of my endeavours, which is pretty funny. I think I need a hysterical, like, series of coincidences for anything here to happen. I did probably have a Bane chant here or something. 6, 12, 18 attacks on, what, 4s and 4s? Maybe 5 wounds, so didn't do too badly. And I got one of the units. Not killing this was a little bit galling, but what was going to happen? I was going to take a flank, or a front, or a rear. So I was just trying to get the unit strength out of there, you know what I mean? So yeah, then everything dies. Just everything. So Planar dies here. Impaler's die there. Oh god, and there was a turn 7. Why make everything worse? So I decided to ignore this lot because I'm not going to kill them. So I popped around here. I was really hopeful I might be able to get this guy. I didn't, of course. Radek's turn 7. He charges my crone, which is beyond rude. You can see she's had a pop here. No good. Didn't do anything. Didn't do out. And that's the end of the game. So yeah, pretty solidly beaten there. I'm going to say Dice played a fairly heavy role in that. I didn't do too badly, I want to say, against the UK Master there. But even with his inadequate list, which I didn't like and he didn't like, yeah, smashed it, didn't he? So that's 3 unit strength, 3 unit strength, 2 unit strength. It's just huge, isn't it? And I've got 1 unit strength. I got a point, everyone. Wow. So yes, thoroughly beaten in game 2, but not unexpectedly. And I felt like I acquitted myself reasonably, especially with that Decimator in Thrall. I'm proud of that move. And you think, well, you know, you've been beaten, you're 1 win, 1 loss. So you're going to have an easier game 3. Am I right? Wrong! Chris Lynch. So yeah, I go from the UK Master to the UK number 1 for my game 3. So, with his brand new Night Stalkers. Great. So come back soon to have a look at that one. Hope you enjoyed this battle report. And thanks to Radek for being a lovely bloke, if a little bit too good at the game. Alright, talk to you soon. Bye-bye.